Hello, welcome back to the channel. If you've been following the series of videos, in the last episode we tried to get a 1960 Morris Minor 2-door to start after being left for 12 years. So in that last video I checked to see if the car had compression, I checked the condition of the spark plugs, removed them, cleaned them, checked we had ignition, spark down at the points. All that seems to be fine, but what's probably preventing it from starting is the fact it's got 12-year-old fuel in the car. Now, why did I just try and start the car on old fuel? Well, I've been told by the previous owner that it was running and driving and that he'd started it recently, so I thought, well, it's bound to fire up at least, but even on stale fuel the car should run sort of, but it's having none of it. So I know we're getting spark, and I also know we're getting fuel because the fuel is getting down to the plugs because the plugs are getting wet. So obviously the carburettor is doing its job, which is a good thing. Also I took the lid off the float bowl on the carburettor, and that's full of petrol, so the pump is obviously delivering to the carburettor. So it can only be stale fuel preventing this thing from firing, or have the points closed on the contact. So that's another thing we could look at moving forward if the car doesn't start. I've just finished my cup of tea, so without further ado, let's get the spanners out and see if we can get this thing to run. Just move that out of the way again so I can get the last screw off the top of the float bowl. You've seen me do this in the last video, but I'm doing it again. What I'm also going to do is disconnect the fuel pump because the fuel pump is working well. So I just need a rag so that I'll soak up the rest of that stale fuel. Then I'll pour some fresh petrol in there. Just let that soak up. Okay. Yeah. Right, so this is the electronic fuel pump. I'm just going to disconnect it quickly because obviously we don't want it firing fuel at me while we're trying to start the car. That would be not ideal. So I presume you just disconnect this here. Take a little grab screw off. And that's now the live feed disconnected from that. So that pump should now not run. I'm just going to tuck that out of the way so it doesn't. There we go. So that should now be dead. Right, so now the fuel pump is disconnected, we can concentrate on getting some petrol into the fuel bowl on the carb, and then hopefully that will draw some gravity feed some fuel through from there, and hopefully this thing might just fire. It might just fire at the first turn of the key, or it might not. Well, if I was Derek from Vice Grip Garage, I'd probably say this is old fuel from like a lawnmower from 1980, but it's fresh, unleaded petrol. Give it a good chance of starting. That's way too much. Right, moment of truth. First start attempt. Ignition on, choke out. Will it start? Try again. Hey! Well, she wants to go and choke. It's a slight blow from the manifold. That's all that was, it's just stale petrol. She might run out. Let's just go and check. Woo! Well, still got petrol. Should now be able to start it from in here using the Still Me box. Choke's still out. Noting tassels out the way. Thank you for the comments in the last video. A massive leak to the manifold. Still need a bit of choke. Let's try that again. Yeah, that's blowing from the downpipe. So my battery boost pack's got enough charge to start it again. Nothing. That's really disappointing. Not too sure how these work because it's showing full power, so it can't be flat already, surely. We'll give it a second just to relax. Then we'll try it again. Put the torch on, I don't want that. Right, let's try that again. If we can get this thing running long enough, I might just have to leave the choke out. It's going to be noisy, guys, but there's a massive blow from the manifold. If I can leave this running long enough, it might just start charging the battery. That's actually something we could do. We could put the alternator, we could put the multimeter on the battery and check if the dynamo is doing its job. Let's give this another go. Now, might need a bit more choke. Oh yeah, choke's in. Seems to like choke, so I'll just give it choke at the moment. Now, why are you not firing now? Oh, right. No, I might have flooded it. Oh, the ignition was off. That's not going to help, is it? Let's try that again. Well, that was adventurous. I think the throttle's sticking somewhat. That's a choke. Some throttle. Oh. I think we're about to run out of fuel. Oh. I've got one more shot on the battery, I think. Oh! The clock just faded off. Well, that wasn't moving the other day. Will that actually move? Ah. Might have flooded it. Ah. Well, that's fantastic news, because that means that engine is a runner and I know it's going to be okay. Obviously it's going to need some work, carburetor needs a clean, serviced, points condenser, rotor arm cap. But we've got the thing to start. It's the first stepping stone in getting this car back on the road, so that's one big hurdle ticked off the list. So what's next? Well, really I need to just check the structure of this vehicle. I know it's bad underneath. How bad? Well, I'm going to leave that to my welder. I've got a chap who's potentially going to do the work for me. He's worked on Morris Miners before, he's confident, he knows what he's doing with them, and I've got the confidence in him to do the work. However, if it's going to be thousands of pounds, then guys, I'm sorry, but it's just not going to be worth doing. So we need to evaluate. Let's just put the brakes on this. Yes, the engine runs, but how many hundreds and thousands of pounds is this car going to cost me? Obviously I need to be sensible. I can't just chuck a load of money at it. But I mean, she's rough. It is all doable, but going forward, if the body's too far gone, or my welder thinks it's too far gone, or it's going to cost silly money to get this thing restored, do we break it? Do we do something else with it? Do we move it onto the project to somebody else who's got a bit more time and money for it? I've noticed a lot more interest in this car, so obviously Morris Miners are very popular in people's hearts. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. Next week, Rust evaluation. We'll come back to you. I'll let you know how bad it is. Right, cup of tea. See you in a bit.